I mean, they're
You're sort of there.
just hanging out. And then the other half that does vote, it's slightly less than half of the other half. So it's kind of under a quarter. But in any event, they're the ones that vote, so they're the ones that make stuff happen. So in a sense, it might as well be half. But my fear is that given Republicans in the Congress and House and administration, that any deal that they come up with, any legislation that they propose, is going to basically sort of, it's going to be like a trade. Like I was saying earlier, it's trading your security for everybody else's. And then it's going to put, I think it will be designed to put like Democrats in the position of going, okay, do we sell out families and everybody else for just this one group? Or do we say no, and then these guys, everybody gets screwed, you know? And I'm not sure, I'm glad I don't have to vote on whatever it is, because I'm sure it's going to be structured like something like that. Like, oh yeah, we'll build a wall, we'll, provide $200 trillion for deportation force in exchange for, saving the DACA students. And we'll save them, but, each one of them has to pledge allegiance and turn in their parents. Or some, it's going to be some like weird thing like that. I fear. I don't know, but
I hope.
I don't. I keep saying I don't know.
That makes me feel really upset.
Like there's just a crazy amount of uncertainty. Like everyone is putting in their opinion, everyone's putting in their input. Well, it's like nothing has happened. Just sort of waiting till the final say happens. And I know a lot of people have just kind of like shut down because of so much that's going on. It's like, I don't blame them.
You almost have to be. If you at least since the election, I have found that if you try to stay engaged all the time, you burn out. Like I have burned out over and over and over again, and had to just go, okay, shutting off my TV. I'm just going to read a book. I don't care. Oh, swords and sorcery. Oh, unicorns. I'm just like, I don't even care about anything. And then like, all right, I'm ready to fight again for a little while. And then I can't take it anymore. It's just like over and over again. Yeah, I keep running to this point where it's just like, I can't even think of what to say or how to say it. I can't encapsulate my feelings because I'm so frustrated. I don't see how there are so many people that don't understand that we're talking about people, and families, and children, and parents, and brothers, and sisters, and neighbors, and friends, and coworkers, and employers, and employees, and it's not some mysterious them out there. It's us. Yeah, we're talking about us at this moment, and I don't. I can see how there are a few people who just don't get that and don't care and don't try. But how are there so many that it's come to this? That's what I don't understand. I just don't.
Yeah.
I keep saying I don't. Well, what is it I don't? I just don't. I don't get it. I can't even. How's that?
I don't get it either. I mean,
pretty much say that too often.
At least in my situation, I just want to help the people that are within my proximity, the people that I can reach, and just in the hopes that I can help. And at the same time, knowing that I'm helping people just makes me feel better, and it allows me to continue fighting. And that's all I have, at least.
It's agency. I mean, you're doing, like, okay, I am going to do something. The problem is the feeling of victimhood. It's just like, this is happening. It's all out there somewhere. I have no control over it. So what can I do? I can't do anything about that, so I can't do it. But if you do something about what's right here, right now, like, okay, well, we're going to clean this room. We can't do much. The building's burning down, but we're going to clean this room. At least we're doing something, and it makes you feel a little better. And that's kind of how I look at it. That's what I try to do, is just like, I don't think I'm really helping very many people, I do this radio show, and I work with the organization, but I don't think I'm really affecting the lives or changing the lives of very many people. But what else can I do? I got to do something.
That was I think my biggest part in like being involved, because I slowly just started like saying yes to things. I can't say no, it's a big problem, but I just kept saying yes, yes, and yes. But before I knew it, like looking back at it now, so many people within faculty, staff, professors in my college, my art and design department, the organizations that I'm in, like student organizations, my work, everywhere, they're aware about me. And if they're aware about me, they're aware of my situation.
Right.
But I always tell them, like, I may be the only undocumented person you know, but don't, like, put me in this, like, don't have me at such a high standard. I'm here to educate you in case somebody else comes behind me. Somebody else needs to help. Somebody else that can't speak up for themselves. You're there for them. Like, for me, it's not so much, like, they're not helping me anymore as much as the next person. And I think that's just, like, literally what keeps me going. It's the next person who may not have it as easy as I did.
So back in the 80s, sanctuary used to mean, like, actually literally hiding people who were coming up from, you know, like Central America, there were revolutions and death squads and things like that. And it's like, they're going to kill me if I don't go somewhere. And I try to go here, but the U.S. says, no, we don't want you. So people were like literally being sneaking and hiding out. If it comes to that, would you do that? Would you hide?
Probably, yes. I have my hiding spots. It's a secret. If I tell you, I'll probably kill you.
Yeah,
but,
I'm not asking.
Like,
I'm not asking for
I think
details.
so.
But I mean, could you live like that? Would that be worth it?
I mean, I guess like this is where like the different lifestyles come into play. Like it was something like at home, if anything happened in my hometown, my parents and I, we always had a plan.
Yeah.
And it was something that I knew from a very young age. And now, until last year, I didn't really have a plan here on campus because I was like, I'm a student. I'm here just to pretty much learn. Yeah. But then after seeing the way things are going, and you're just like, well, you know, things are at risk here. You know, I do have a plan.
I do not, I guess. I mean, I've been just so open about my status, and, you know, I've been open to talking to as many people, including people that you wouldn't want to talk to.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Like we did last year with the Illini Republicans.
Oh,
but I think, you know, I feel like I do have a place I could go to if I really need to hide out. But I hope it really doesn't come down to that.
I'm not. I don't mean to like make
quick
these apocalyptic.
Plan B's and C's.
I'm just thinking of like the different. I mean, it's really like it can come to that in a way, and I guess the point is more: would it be worth it?
Right.
I mean, if that was your life, like obviously it's not forever. You're not not going to go. Oh, for the rest of my life, I'm going to live in this basement and never go outside. But till the next time Democrats win or whatever the thing is, you know, a year or 3 years or something. I just wonder, is it worth it? Or is it just take the plunge and go to some other country and just kind of like, all right, well, I'm here and just going to make the best of it and see what happens. I just don't know. Like, I don't know where, when people keep pushing you, where is your line, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, where do you go? Okay, no more. I don't care. This is where I buy a gun, or this is where I, you know, learn karate, or whatever the thing is. It's like, at what point do you just say, okay, I'm done with this, you know, with doing things the right way, and I'm going to make my own technique or something.
I think that's very up to the individual. Like, I don't know.
I will always continue fighting. Yeah, I've always been a warrior.
Like, for me, it's like, I honestly don't know what tomorrow holds. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I take it one day at a time. You know, you can't think about tomorrow. Otherwise, I'm not going to sleep tonight.
Yeah.
And I can't live like that. I need my sleep.
Right.
Gotta survive. Gotta eat. Gotta wake up tomorrow. Go to class.
Yep.
You know?
Gotta go to work. Yeah.
But you just said warrior. I mean, like if you think of like what happened in Charleston not that long ago, and that's taking on a different meaning. I mean, we're all warriors here in a like, I'll write a stern letter. I'll show them. You know. So there. exclamation point.
Yeah.
That's one kind of warrior.
Dear sir.
But when it comes down to like, are you gonna like go out into the street and like actually fight somebody with a club?
No.
Are you that kind of warrior? Like, there are people that want to take it to that point.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how to react to that. I'm not sure. It's easy for me to say, well, I will stand against hatred.
Mm-hmm.
But will I kill somebody?
I
don't know.
My methods have always been, I always just try to do it through the administrative way. I always try to talk to the right people, try to find the right, networking groups to get all this information out there. But at the same time, I have friends that are doing the radical thing, right?
Yeah.
They're going to those rallies. They're sitting right in front of, Governor Rauner's office.
Right.
And getting arrested. And I think if we tackle it from all different perspectives, we can definitely, maybe, hopefully, bring about some type of reform or change.
I think that's where like our allies come in. Like, we can't do everything.
Right.
There's certain level of safety that, I hope we both want to uphold.
Yep.
But we all have, like you said, we all have those friends who are out there doing the fight for us in places that we know we can't be in. I guess that's where the community comes in.
Yeah. Well, that's the point. There are people whose job it is or whose function it is to do one thing, and people who do something else. You mentioned administration. Try that again. You mentioned administration before, but what happens when the administration is set against you, when the rules are designed for everyone but you? How do you deal with it at that point? You're in law, right? So what do you do when you start seeing laws that like they're trying to get laws where to absolve people from guilt if they run in over protesters who are protesting in the street? In some places they're actually doing that. That's crazy. In Florida, the stand your ground laws, where it's like, well, if you feel threatened and you've got a gun, then go ahead and shoot somebody. Those are actual laws.
Yes,
so
that's true. Yeah.
How, at what point is the legal system turned against you to the point where you can't use it anymore, I guess? Maybe that harkens back to my question, like, where do you draw the line? Where do you say, enough?
Well, as of right now, I even if I've had sort of a backlash, they're still understanding. They still listen.
Yeah.
They're still respectful.
That's good.
Which tells me a little bit that maybe they are listening. But
well, you're in a pretty good state.
That is a very tough.
Yeah, true.
And Illinois has been very good to DACA students and immigrants, especially after the signing of the Trust Act. And so, I will just stay here in Illinois,
right.
and I'm going to fight those laws from the state.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Huh. Okay. Well, I
guess I really don't know for sure. I guess when I will set that line. I guess until kind of cross that bridge when I get there.
I feel like I'm trying to push you in a like, but you've got to freak out at some point. I'm not trying to freak you out or to upset anybody. I'm just, chill. I guess what I'm doing is just I'm expressing my own frustration, angst, fear, sort of semi-panic. It's not real panic. Nothing's going to happen to me directly, but everybody else around me.
Right. Well, we've gone through our panics and our breakdowns. I don't know how many times I've been to the counseling center at the universities. How many times I had to contact people. How many times I had to like stay in my apartment and not come out because I've not been well. But a lot of the things that we try to also tell our students is to just self-care, really self-care, because your mind does not work properly if you're in that state of mind of anxiety and depression. You have to take care of yourself. You really have to be patient, and you got to look at things from other perspectives, other ways. There's always other ways, and we can't lose that hope. It's not always set in stone. So
true.
You gotta educate that,
Yeah.
if this ends up happening this way, then we do it this other way, and if and we're gonna keep doing that, going around and around until we can figure something out.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a way. There's no way that this one thing's gonna stop the whole movement.
We
Right.
built so much resilience at this point that it's it's nothing surprises us anymore.
Yeah, I guess that's actually an advantage in a way, because I have found in my life, like, it's usually when the worst thing that could, when you go, oh, what's the worst that could happen? When that actually happens, suddenly it like clarifies everything. You go, okay, well, it happened. I'm here. Now what? I have to go somewhere from here, so I'm taking a step, and this is my step. It's almost, I don't know, that's a terrible thing. I was going to say it's almost harder to be like next to that instead of being that, because when you're in that position, you've got something like, okay, I must. That's when self protection takes over. Like, I have to rely on me. I've got no one but me. I'm going to do it. But being the person is probably like a parent, and your kid's like, oh, my kid's sick. What do I do?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't fix this. You're sick. You just don't know what to do. And that's sort of, maybe it is paternalistic. I just feel that right now. I just feel like this helplessness. Like, I want to protect you, but what? I stand in front of you when they come after you with guns? What? What does that look like for me? So I think I'm taking my own internal dialogue, and I'm saying, well, you tell me what I should be doing, because I don't know.
Right.
Boy, I keep hitting
So
things.
one of the things that we do is just, ask people to do is just keep calling your representative, your state representative, your local state office, call Governor Rauner, and then also contact your, national level representatives, right? To try to put some type of legislation that would help protect students or DACA students like us. And so, but we require the community to do that, and obviously attend rallies, come to these, come to our sessions, come to our meetings, come to our trainings. Just.
Well, Durbin is right out there. He's working with Graham right now, and they have the thing that they're doing. So, but it doesn't hurt to call them anyway, right?
Nope, it really does not. Just really call and be like, hey, I'm in for this, and
I support
please,
you.
Yeah, and
I will vote for you. You've got
you've
got my vote.
And at the same time, we encourage people to donate to La Casa Cultural Scholarship Fund, to then help in a more personal way the students that are here in the community, right? Who might be struggling because of what's going to happen, or already struggling financially to pay for their tuition.
That's a good idea. They just call La Casa?
Yeah, La Casa Cultural Latina Scholarship Fund.
I believe it's also on their website as well. There's a donation tab.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And
is it on there?
Yep, I have it here. It's you go to OIR, so OIIR.illinois.edu, La Casa Cultural Latina, and it should lead you to the page.
OIIR.edu?
.illinois.edu.
.illinois.edu, okay.
At La Casa Cultural Latina.
And it'll take you there. So there's something I'm looking at you, the listener, who I can't see, but I know you're out there. This is something you can do. You can donate funds, because as we've been discussing, at least one of the very first effects of this, if it does happen, is people will lose the ability to work. And that means, where do they come up with money? They're going to need a lot of money all at once. A lot of people are going to need a lot of money all at once and consistently over time, not just a one-time thing. So scholarship, that's good. That would help.
And then, of course, visit our page, iCause at Facebook. And, even if you can't donate money, at least you're following us. You're, you're aware of the events that are happening. And it's, just by providing your support is enough to kind of continue the fight, to continue helping us.
Well, it's it's a difficult time, and I think you made a great point about how the community and people coming together and just creating networks of mutual support is vital for all of us. Is vital for those of us who are not on the verge of something terrible happening, we maybe have a firmer place to stand so that we can provide a little more, strength to those who are, maybe their feet are kind of dangling over the edge, and maybe we can hold on, and maybe if we all just hold on to each other, it would be like those floating islands of fire ants at the flood. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Where they just kind of like cling to
Like,
each other.
together, floating around.
Maybe that's a bad analogy there. Okay, we're not like a floating island of fire ants. Forget that. Erase that from your mind. But you know what I mean. So give money and give support, and call your congressman.
Yeah, that's really
Congressperson, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Don't mean to gender this. Call your elected officials.
Right.
And argue with that person on Facebook. Go ahead and do it if you have to. That crazy one that's saying all those rude things and what is it about illegal? You don't understand.
And then I always encourage people who, are on that side to come and talk to me, really. Like, come and find me at the university. I'll talk to you. I'll try to explain as much as I can, and at least just to, give you some knowledge that you can kind of work with and create your own sort of views on that then. But by that point, we hope that it's a better view than the original, biased one.
Well, there was that guy from, was it Tennessee, who was one of the signatories on the attorney generals who were suing the Trump administration to get rid of DACA, and he said, you know what, I talked to people and I changed my mind. I don't want to be a part of this because I don't think that.
Right.
So it's possible. I mean, it's really possible.
It is possible, because when we talked to the Atlanta Republicans last year, they canceled their event that we were trying to prevent them from doing, and it all came because we had an honest discussion.
Well, what kind of things were they saying? I mean, what was their point for wanting to do this stuff?
Well, they were focusing on immigration and affirmative action. Of course, they went through with their affirmative action bake sale.
Well,
but when it came to immigration, they genuinely believe that that there should be the right way of getting citizenship, and so coming here legally was definitely not the right way, and that it should be up to us really to figure out the correct way of doing things. Very set on following the laws. And so because we are here as DACA, we're going around this loophole that then, it means that we're not necessarily following the laws.
But if they knew exactly what the law was, there's absolutely no path.
Right. And so that's what we had to explain to them. It's like, well, there's no back of the line sort of there. In fact, there's no line.
There's no line at all.
This is exactly what it is.
But we understand, as a person, I love to follow the rules. I definitely follow rules to the T at my work, at school, with my time management. And so I even find myself in like a conflict when it's like, I'm here as an undocumented person, but I do want to follow the laws. I do want to follow the rules. I do want to apply legally, and do it the right way. But it's just, there's really no path to that. There's really no way of doing that other than,
going away, self-deporting.
Right. There's one just loophole. And the loophole for DACA students is that, if they do decide to travel, the only way we can travel is through humanitarian and or educational means. Right. And so we would file for an advanced parole that would grant us permission to leave the country and then enter the country legally. And so once that happens, then applying for citizenship or residency at least is a lot easier, because now we're no longer here illegally, as they would term it, but legally. Yeah. Because we were given that permission to enter the country. And so a lot of people don't really know about that loophole. But, there's been well over 40,000 DACA recipients that have now entered the country legally. And so that kind of knocks out one of the requirements for, in the future, applying for residency.
Right. Except that now we don't know.
Right. So now it's like, what would happen?
That's me pounding my head on the
So it's just, like I said, it's just a very complicated idea, and it's not easy.
You're right, and that is very interesting. I'm glad that you brought that up about talking to the college Republicans. Because it's.
I mean, overall, they were very nice people. I mean, they
Yeah,
were.
I mean, they listened.
So,
That's all we could ask for, really.
they have an idealized picture of how things should be.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they're, in their mind, I'm not talking about in reality, but in
Right.
their mind, what they're doing is trying to fight for the way things ought to be
Right.
Yeah.
as they see it.
Yes.
And so to that end, they belittle, they attack, they demean, which they do. That's what I don't understand about it. Is
Yeah.
that's how they fight.
Mm-hmm.
Is they attack people. It's weird. I don't get how you, like, I have this idealized way for how things should be, and so I'm going to behave in a way that is really very counterproductive for reaching that ideal in order to attain that ideal.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Right.
make sense. Doesn't make sense to me.
So, I mean, even though we weren't really able to change their minds per se about, how they view immigration, but they at least did respect our concerns when it came to that specific event that they wanted to do. And so they really were respectful and they backed down. So that was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Well, give them credit where credit is due. Well, we're very, very close to the end of the program. And my stomach is rumbling. I want to eat food. I'm so hungry. Was there anything that you were hoping to say that you didn't get a chance to say because I was talking too much?
I don't think so. Well, I mean, Nancy
Well,
covered the part about
yeah.
just having the dialogue. I mean,
Right.
I'm totally down to sit down with anyone, and I
Really?
say that to my friends, professors,
Same.
anyone, whether we have same views or opposing views. I mean, the way to get these facts across is just to sit down and listen.
Yeah.
I'm willing to do that, and if you're willing to do that,
Yes.
piece of cake, let's do it.
And so we will be, there's an event tomorrow at La Casa Cultural Latina. It's called Que Pasa La Casa, and we will be there. We made a resolution for the administration that we're going to present on Wednesday, and so we're trying to get people to come and look at it and sign off on it, and also just to kind of get information to members out there. But at the same time, we're targeting the undocumented student population with we're trying to distribute information on what to do if DACA does end, where to look for those resources, and what's next.
And that's tomorrow? I thought it
And
was
that is-
Wednesday.
That is tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow at 5:30 at La Casa Cultural Latina.
Really?
It's called Que Pasa La Casa.
Yeah.
And we
Maybe
will
I
be
can
there.
come
And
to
so if you will be there, and if you want to start a conversation, I'll be down.
I can try it.
Yeah.
I have a meeting. I've always got meetings. Always something going.
It goes till 7:30, so you
I
got some
might
time.
be able to do it. I might.
So we'll be there along with other, student organizations.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on the show, and I'm sorry I put you in the position of trying to make me feel better about something that is not, I don't have to be afraid of. But personally, not going to change
Thank you.
my personal situation. And I've done this to people before, and I feel really guilty about it afterwards. It's like, oh, make me feel better. And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you don't have to make me. I'm sorry. You didn't have to make me feel better. I'm upset, and I just wish I could do something. I wish I had a magic wand. And I
Yeah.
could just wave it and just go, oh, ding, ding, and everything's fine. But I don't. So I just have to sit around and worry all the time about everybody and everything. But be that as it may, and I can't see anything here, you have been listening to CU Immigration here on WRFU LP, Urbana, 104.5 FM. I hope you will join us again at some point. And until then, we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.